What's up, humans? It's been so long since I've done something like this, so long in my head, that I've forgotten how to just talk to myself. So, there's that. However, I've got no script for this one. This is going to be the most wild and rambunctious video I have ever done. Ever. Period. No doubt about it. So yeah, for once, I'm not writing down a script. I'm not doing anything. I was just kind of doing something on a whim. I was sitting down. I was doing some reading on good old New Year's Eve. Very relaxing, very chill. I love reading. So my brain doesn't, but I do. I was looking through my videos and stuff, and this is gonna get very I almost said ambly, like remove the pre from it. Like I said, I've never gone this unchained before, this untethered from some sort of normalcy of not even a script. I don't write scripts. I write notes. Let me make that clear. So if this is boring you, if you're not going to want to hear somebody ramble about manga and maybe not even good manga, I'm just going to talk about manga for a minute here. So if that's not going to interest you, if you don't like this kind of stylistic rambling, I can pretend it's like a style that I'm trying to go for, then yeah, it's probably the video for you. Usually I don't do like any video stuff unless I'm streaming something, which I kind of count those as videos. Every stream I do, I really try to make it like something I would have made a video about anyways, but it makes more sense time-wise for me to just play it and talk about whatever I want to talk about if I'm not trying to I don't need to go through the history of Mortal Kombat 1 DOS. I you know what? Now that I say that, kind of would like to at some point, maybe. That's kind of a bad example, but sometimes I just want to share a little bit of something I'm into, and that's kind of an easy way to do it. I can talk about it for a bit. I can play something for a bit, and it's fun to do that. It really is. But I've only streamed very occasionally. You can look through my channel. I put the streams on my YouTube channel. I don't do it just to do it, and I'm sure there's plenty of people like me. I was only doing it when I felt like I very specifically wanted to share something or do something stupidly hard, and I don't have no schedule. Did you like that proper grammar there? No schedule. Yeah, I don't have any schedule or anything. I was just doing it for fun. But anyways, looking through all my stuff, and I realized that I've never once talked about the fact I've talked about it in videos for a second, but I've never made a video and made it explicitly clear that I am a huge nerd, and I read a lot of manga. I watch some anime. I watched more so when I was younger, but I tend to read stuff over watching stuff. But I do watch anime. I've watched at this point, because this is what we're going to be talking about, a bit of nerd stuff, and then I'm going to get into my actual topic, which is colored manga. Manga in color, because this is starting to fascinate me after tonight. Man, now I'm not sure what I'm even going to title this, because it was just going to be manga in color, and that's it. I straight and to the point, or overly specific and detailed. But this is going to be a bit of a end of the year kind of rant too, for the kind of media I've been consuming, I suppose, because I want to talk a little bit about anime, I guess, too, coming from the perspective of someone that I don't know how to articulate this, but I don't really consider myself someone that watches anime, but I do watch anime, so I don't consider myself someone that keeps up to date on this kind of stuff. And usually when I consume some sort of nerdy media like this, I read things. It's just kind of always been my preference throughout my whole adult life. Now, when I was younger, and even when I was younger, now that I think about it, I read a lot of manga online through illicit means. I do, but again, I do like anime, but this is coming from the perspective of someone that normally just reads manga. But so, yeah, I don't keep up to date on anything that's really happening. However, just very recently, throughout this year, I have decided to give Gundam a try. Now, I've always been aware of Gundam. I know cool little robot peoples, but I've never I played Dynasty Warriors Gundam. That was the extent of my knowledge of it, and it was just not very much of the game either, probably because I didn't know too much about it. But I'm a big fan of Warriors games and stuff. And at one point, this is a long time ago, but back when the 360 was the newest thing I had, and I still, in my head, that's where that's the new consoles. You got the PS3, the Wii, the 360, and that's like the current gen stuff in my head. Always like I know it's not. I have a good computer. I have a Series X. I'm very blessed for that. But always in my head, it's like, yeah, that's the new consoles right there. Yeah, back when I had my 360 and I like kind of stumbled across Warriors games and like really fell in love with them. I was able to get like a bunch of cheap stuff from GameStop used. Like I just pretty much bought like every Warriors game I could. And like half of them don't have their original case and stuff. But yeah, like I played Dinosaur Wars Gundam. I'm like, it's a Dinosaur Wars game. I like it, but like I never interacted with Gundam any farther than that. But so like I wanted to. I was thinking about it this year. And I'm like, I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna watch Gundam. So I started watching Mobile Suit Gundam. So this is gonna be like anything I talk about. I'll give a fair warning. Like probably gonna be like a metric ton of spoilers for anything I talk about. So I'll make sure I'm like, hey, I'm talking about this. And, excuse my voice. I'm a little nasally, a little sniffly. I'm a bit under the weather today, which is kind of why I am just reading at home on New Year's. To be fair, though, I would have enjoyed this regardless. But, yeah, so I started watching Mobile Suit Gundam. And, like full disclosure, like, I'm not one to really watch older anime. Like I said, I'm not really one to watch much anime to begin with. So especially like I don't consider myself some sort of connoisseur of like late 70s anime. Not that I don't appreciate the aesthetic of it, but it's like just not really my thing, because overall I'm like not usually that into like action stuff, shonen stuff, but like, and see, I kind of thought Gundam was going to be like a kids show, like something like, not that I've watched this, but I thought it was going to be like Astro Boy or something like, oh, this is totally for kids kind of thing, just cool robots and stuff, let's sell toys. But yeah, like I was completely wrong, and Gundam is like way more dramatic than I thought it was going to be, and this is the kind of stuff that like I do like to read when I do read. I read like drama and romance stuff, so like not that when I was younger, back when like Shonen Jump was still physical in America, I did read like the action stuff. I read Naruto, Bleach, One Piece, watched Bleach. New Bleach stuff is really good too. I'll talk about that in a second. But like I kind of fell out of that stuff, and I feel like, to me at least, as I got older, the action anime or manga it kind of seemed like recycled. And this isn't like a specific criticism of any specific one. It's just like both my tastes have changed, and I think the medium has changed, and what is popular, especially in Japan, has changed, and it's just not what I'm into, like, at all, unfortunately. But then I kind of gravitated towards my later teenage years after Shonen Jump got discontinued. Started gravitating towards, like shoujo manga. I believe that's how you pronounce it. Like, the stuff meant for, like, women. Very specifically, there's not much of this, but I really like this stuff that's targeting, like, 30-year-old women, like just adult women. That stuff is like my favorite, and I know there's like a word for that, and I can't remember it off the top of my head. It's not shoujo specifically, because that's like targeting a more younger demographic. Same with like the shonen manga, like, like teenagers and stuff. But yeah, like I really like that kind of stuff. I like the drama, I like the romance. To me, I feel like, and this is just the way I'm looking at it, but when I watched and read like the action stuff, I liked the characters and their interactions and stuff. And yeah, when I was younger, like the action stuff was cool, but what sticks with me isn't that stuff. It's like characters and their interactions, like I said, and storytelling, stuff like that. And I feel like shoujo manga and stuff just kind of cuts out the middleman for me, and I'm like literally just reading about characters interacting and growing and talking to each other and stuff, and I love that. That is like so my jam, and I know that's not for everybody. A lot of people probably consider that to be boring, which I totally understand that. Some may even consider it to be not a manly, and for that rebuttal, I will say the most manly thing you can do is read and watch and play whatever games, whatever you want. That is what being a man is all about. And absolutely do not take that out of context, because I'm sure you can twist my words somehow. But that's not even the point I'm trying to make. So this is just explaining kind of what I'm into as far as the side of manga and anime. Like, I read a bunch of shoujo manga, a bunch of romance manga, and stuff like that. So yeah, but like I wanted to give Gundam like a real try. So I'm watching Gundam, and like I said, full spoilers and stuff. And like the first episode, people are getting like, I want to be careful with what I say, because I do like my channel, and I don't want it to get sent to the Shadow Realm anytime soon. So, and like I myself am pretty PG with these videos anyways. That's just because like I'm not adding anything if I cuss or say bad words or whatever. Like my humor is very stale and punny, and I don't have a pop filter. You can probably notice that, like that kind of sound. I don't have a pop filter. I really need to get one, considering I actually record music and record vocals, and that's very, very bad of me to not have. I don't have a good setup for anything. Yeah, so there's a lot of people that don't make it out of the first episode, and that's like not what I was expecting. There's a bunch of like explosions going on and stuff like that, and I swear to God, YouTube, I'm just talking about a children's anime. Yeah, so I'm like, okay, this is a bit darker than I thought. I'm like, but not edgy. It was tasteful. I understood the mood it was trying to convey. So I'm like, okay, yeah, you know what? This isn't too bad. And then like I'm like, but like it wasn't my favorite thing in the world, you know. But I'm like, I'm gonna stick with it. I'm gonna kind of see where this goes or whatever. And as I'm watching, just like, you know, a little more, and excuse the audio if it's a little uneven. Normally I stack this on books and read from, you know, like I said, notes and stuff, but I'm literally just holding this and talking to you, dear human. Though I don't know if animals watch my videos, but if they did, that'd be like really cool. So tell me if your cat. No. I got this, like, psychically. I know that your cat is watching this video with you. But yeah, so I'm sticking it out. I'm watching a little more, and then, you know, it has Char Aznable, and the more episodes he's in and the more I'm seeing, I'm like, hold up a second. I'm like, I am so captivated by this character, and I have not felt like this about an anime character in years. I felt like an obsessed teenager again about an anime. I'm like, who is this guy? Who is Char Aznable? So you know, needless to say, I blazed through it. I watch all of Gundam, and I cannot stress this enough that I am not like this. I do not just watch entire series of anime in like 2 weeks. It was probably a little over 2 weeks. Yeah. I don't do that. I'll watch things very slowly, very tepidly, and then usually just end up dropping it. It's like, even if I had interest in something in the beginning, it is so hard. It's not like the different pieces of media's fault. It's just I lose interest in things like so quickly, take long breaks, hopefully eventually go back to them, but sometimes I don't. Like half the time, honestly, I just don't finish things. And it sucks, but you know, that's how my brain is. That's just how it is. But somehow, like, Gundam hijacked my brain, and I just blazed through all of that. I watched the entire thing, and I'm like, all right, this has become my new personality. I am Gundam. I loved everything about it, and I wasn't expecting that. This literally became like my favorite piece of media I probably ever consumed beyond like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I'm like, this is the best thing ever. So naturally, and this is where more spoilery stuff for the next series, Zeta Gundam, is going to come in. Wow, I am so sorry about all the jumps I'm doing, the cutting. I am so stuffed up because of whatever I have came down with, and I can like barely breathe through my nose, and it is not very fun. So, excuse that. Wow, wait, hold up. I realize I haven't finished talking about Gundam yet. That's how excited I was to talk about Zeta Gundam, which, you get, like, full spoilers. Get out of this video if you haven't seen Zeta Gundam at this point. But, yeah, Char Aznable is my anime boyfriend, and nobody can convince me otherwise, and he's none of your waifus either. He is mine. So, it's like the coolest character I've ever seen. It just speaks to, like, that inner edgy teenager so much. But I wouldn't even say that Char is edgy, and especially considering the time period this came out, and it's like, you know, like late 70s. I don't really think that was like a thing yet, but he is just so captivating. That's the best word. He's just a very, very captivating character, and his like relationship with Amuro is incredibly interesting. Amuro's a great main character for like the start of Gundam and stuff, and the dichotomy, yeah, something like that, between those two is really fun to watch, and like the whole cast is honestly like very good. Especially like if I had to pick another one out of like the starting characters in Gundam, like Captain Bright is my jam. I love Captain Bright, and I like that they kept using him like in the next couple of series as well. And like the whole twist, I guess. To me, it felt like a twist. Not that's just the way I interpreted it. But at the end, like all the stuff with Lala and Amuro killing Lala and Char being all like pissed off about it, and like the fact that like kind of maybe have these like psychic power sort of things as new types and stuff, and I'm like, whoa, this is getting insane. And the fact that like at the very end, Char's like, no, I actually want to get rid of the Zeon Empire or Zabi family or whatever. Which, I don't know how to parse the difference between the two in this stage. I guess I don't know if you really can. I was surprised with on that note some of the imagery used for the Zeon Empire and some of the. I'm gonna be very careful with how I'm saying that, but it makes sense to me considering like the time period. Again, this is like the late 70s. It's probably decently fresh in people's heads, you know, and I felt like it was a really interesting look at that time period for a piece of media and what maybe that country was thinking about during that time period. And I don't think it was like just tasteful or anything. And I also don't think it's really like my place to say either way. But yeah, I don't think it was distasteful, but more of like a comment on that type of ideology and what can happen when you kind of start going down that route. And I don't know if Gundam was trying to make a big statement or anything. Oh, maybe about pollution though. That I am a big fan of. I'm not a fan of pollution. I'm a fan of trying to save the environment. I really liked all that, and that it's also kind of scary when when you're watching Gundam and they're talking about the environment and the Earth and stuff like that, and you're like, man, this is for like 78, and we still haven't done anything about it. And I wouldn't say we. I would say like corporations haven't done anything about it. And this isn't. I'm not trying to get into some sort of save the Earth and hug the trees rant right now. But yeah, how ageless Gundam kind of is. Like to me, and that's kind of what I was getting back to. So like, even though it's like clearly, you know, from the 70s and stuff like that, it was not hard to watch. And I feel like some of the older anime stuff can be kind of difficult to consume through like a modern lens, but honestly, like I felt like Gundam was super easy to watch. Not necessarily that it feels modern, but it feels timeless. Like it doesn't matter what era you watch this in, it's going to like make sense. So on that note, I want to actually talk about Zeta Gundam now and get my thoughts a little bit more in order. I can't believe I thought this was going to be like a 10-minute video, because what I was literally just going to talk about manga in color. And throughout the video, because like I said, I don't usually do video things like for the video, just audio stuff, unless there's a stream. But I'll put like pictures of what I'm talking about eventually when I get to it. I'll just like let them play super long throughout the video so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. Pictures of the manga I want to talk about specifically. Like not too many, because obviously, you know, I don't want to get in trouble with any company, any YouTube policy, none of that. Just enough to make a critique on it, and like that's it. And not a critique. I literally just want to nerd out about it. But yeah, on that note, I want to talk about Zeta Gundam. So, in my opinion, I feel like this is now, I'm not interacting much with the fan base of Gundam or anything. This is just me experiencing as a singular human, because I don't want to spoil anything in the next 40 years of Gundam that I have to go through. So I have not been looking up much of anything online. I've just been watching the next thing online. So I started watching Zeta Gundam, obviously. And well, I will say right off the bat, like, I love Camille, and I think he's the best main character in any piece of Gundam I've seen so far. And Camille is a man's name, and he is a man, and I absolutely loved that moment. So, yeah, full spoilers for Zeta Gundam. So, like, I loved Gundam so much, and I was like, whatever they're going to do, it's not going to be as good as the first one. At this point, I'm so attached to Gundam. I even, to preface this a little more too, my one friend, he was into building Gundams and stuff. He didn't like watch it or anything, but he just liked building the model kits and stuff like that. So obviously, I'm getting super into this, and I asked him for his sage wisdom. Takes me to the hobby store. I got myself a red Zaku, got some tools, and I built that thing, because I love Char Aznable, and I love the Red Zaku. It was a really cool experience, and I have some more Gundams to build now that I need to get around to, and I'm very scared of the Master Grade ones, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to try it. First, though, I'm going to build this Hyakushiki I have here. Excuse the pronunciation. Yeah, the model kits are really cool too, and it's like a very like zen thing to do. Like just kind of put on some music and zone out and do it, and then you can freak out later once you realize you put the two of the leg parts on improperly, and now you're kind of screwed. Then you can freak out, but the first half of it's going to be pretty chill. Anyways, so yeah, I was like, nobody's going to be better than Amuro, nobody's going to be better than Char, and like I need Captain Bright. Luckily, you kind of have all of that, and it's just better. And Camille is amazing as a character. Amuro, and I feel like if I had to make a comparison, to me it feels like something like a Jonathan Joestar, where it's like, and Amuro's a little more nuanced than that in Gundam 1. Gundam 1? Yeah, we're gonna go with that. But it felt like, okay, he is the good guy, and anybody after that is gonna be a reflection of him. And I feel like Camille's the... In a sense, like when you get to Joseph and JoJo, I feel like it's something similar with Camille. It's like, okay, now that you know what the good guy is supposed to be like, here's somebody who's a lot more aggressive, a lot more abrasive, and maybe not outspoken, because Amuro did do that. But he's just a lot more energetic in the sense where I feel like he adds more liveliness to the scenes than Amuro did. And not that Amuro didn't have his moments, but just in comparison, Camille's just way more of a bigger personality. And so I was loving Camille from the get-go, and I like the whole dichotomy they have going on between now, because now it's not just like, okay, you got Zeon and you got the good guys, the white base, the whatever, and I can't remember what they're actually called. I swear their force has like a real name. But then you have Haman, and Haman is one of the best Gundam characters ever. Shirako, excuse my pronunciation, I'm very American. And then you have like the quote unquote good guys. So it's like a three-way thing that was really fun to watch, because there's moments where like they're kind of working with one side to get to the other side, like, the enemy is my friend kind of thing, and it kind of happens with like all parties. At least that's what I'm remembering. My memory is like terrible, and especially when I consume a piece of media fast, it goes in what I've been saying recently, one brain and out the other, but one ear and out the other. Like I can't retain too much of the finer details, but definitely the overall overarching plot of it. But yeah, like there's times when Camille is working with Haman to get to Shirako, and I swear there was a time where they were working with Shirako, or Haman and Shirako doing something together, that kind of stuff. So yeah, Camille's great, and I was already enjoying it, and then Gundam just got 6,000 times better when Char rolls up and he's wearing sunglasses, and that changed my life without exaggeration. Char in sunglasses changed my life. No, seriously though, I feel like whoever came up with this idea was an absolute genius. I love the fact that they made him into essentially like a good guy, and he's working with the Argama, and he's got a new mobile suit, and it's golden. That's why I got the Yakushiki model kit, because I'm obsessed with the Yakushiki. And he's got sunglasses, and he's got like what to me looks like almost like a tracksuit. Like something you'd wear while like driving a motorcycle or something. Does anybody say driving a motorcycle, or is it riding a motorcycle? I know you drive a motorcycle, but are you driving a motorcycle colloquially? I'm not even gonna bother. I don't know if we say that, at least as like an American. Anyways, he's got sunglasses, he's got kind of tracksuit sort of thing, and he's like a good guy now with a golden Gundam. My mind was blown, and I was like, I liked Char so much in the first series, but somehow they just made him like 10 times more likable, in my opinion. And then what made this even more interesting and even better, well, besides the fact that Camille punches Char probably at least 5 times throughout the show, if not like more. Oh, sorry, he's Lieutenant Quattro. He's not Char Aznavour. Don't get that confused. I don't know what he's talking about. Never mind. They're separate characters, completely separate. Somehow I'm pretty sure, like, in the beginning, they were trying to make it out like nobody knew he was Char. But, I mean, Lieutenant Quattro. But then, they bring Amuro back in the picture. And I really like this because it's like, so if I'm remembering right, he's back on Earth, not back on, but he's on Earth, and almost kind of like retired and just sitting on what I'm assuming to be money after everything he did or something, because he's got like a house and he's got like staff and stuff like that, kind of just taking care of him, and he seems miserable, like he's not enjoying his life at all. And to me, like, the kind of takeaway I got from this was, and again, this is just my interpretation of the media, but it's almost like he was so young in the beginning of Gundam. He was like 15 or something, and that's like a very important period in someone's growing up, especially mentally and stuff, and that he kind of grew up with fighting in the war and stuff like that for, like, I'm pretty sure that's supposed to be like a solid year or so. And so that kind of, I feel like it was almost like a statement, like, now that he wasn't a soldier and that he was more of a civilian, that he just did not know what to do with himself anymore. And you can take that whatever way you want to take it, but to me it was like, man, that's kind of depressing. Like, that's what he grew into knowing, and he doesn't know what to do with himself without it. It's kind of how I was taking it. But I like that he, like, you know, he comes back and he fights a bit, and it's pretty sweet, it's pretty epic, and he just talks to Char, like, as like a friend, and he makes little, like, jabs at him and stuff like that, and they kind of just laugh and they get along and stuff like that. It's like, whoa, this is insane. Because to me, I almost felt like in Gundam 1, it's not like I don't think they hate each other. It felt like a rivalry, and then in Zeta Gundam they get to kind of be like friends, and I really like seeing that side of both of them as characters. And again, like, the writing staff in Zeta Gundam were just absolute geniuses. Like, the whole show is so incredibly entertaining. Hamon's an amazing character. Whoa! I got slow down there. I'm not on the third series yet. I like Shirako a lot too, and I kind of wish we saw more of him, but you know, eventually you got to get rid of certain characters. There's only so much you could do about it. I feel like Hamon is the stronger character overall for the rest of the series anyways, but I really enjoyed Shirako, though. Like, that's not a knock on that wording. The other thing I want to say is, like, the art style got, like, so much better. It, like, I feel like Gundam is very 70s, and it's like, I like the art style. I'm not saying that it's like not. It's very charming. That's the word I'm looking for. But Zeta Gundam just, like, actually looks really good for an anime. Like, I absolutely love the art style in Zeta Gundam, and it is. I'm just surprised how much of a leap they made between, like, the animation studio between Gundam and Zeta Gundam. It is astounding, like, how much more detailed and fleshed out everything is, and just the animation itself is cleaner, and it feels like there's more frames and everything. And it kind of blew my mind, like, the whole way through, honestly. And so on that note, I'm going to talk about the third series here in a second, and I'll wrap up my Gundam stuff soon because I want to get to, like, my actual point and maybe talk a little bit about the new Bleach stuff. So to wrap that up, I think Zeta Gundam is, like, legitimately one of the best anime I've ever watched. And now that I've watched some stuff, I've poked around a little bit. It seems like the consensus is that, like, a lot of people watch Gundam and they're like, this is good. And then they watch Zeta Gundam and they're like, oh, this is, like, a whole nother level. So going into the third series. Now, I don't know how to pronounce this, and also full spoilers, obviously, for ZZ Gundam, Zeta Gundam, Double Zeta Gundam. You get to pick which one you want to call it, because I don't know what to call it. But what's also going to be fun is, like, I've only heard the main character's name in Japanese because, like, I watched, like, the dub for the first two series, and then I had to go find third series on, like, Crunchyroll, and I don't think there's even a dub for, like, any of that. So I want to say the main character's name is pronounced Judah, like the Darkstalker's character, but, like, not quite. Like, there's something in that name that my filthy American accent is not picking up on, and that I cannot replicate. And I'm always tripping over my words because I'm talking way faster than my brain is computing, or it's vice versa. Like my brain is already done with the sentence and just wants to get on with it already, so it's already tripping over its words. So you're gonna hear Judah throughout this video, and full spoilers for the third Gundam series. So going into this, at this point, if you couldn't tell, even though I don't watch anime, I don't consider myself a connoisseur of anime. I am obsessed with Gundam, and I cannot stop. I cannot be stopped. It cannot be stopped. It is taking over my life. I am sure my fiance is very, very sick of hearing me talk about the glory that is Char Aznable, or sorry, Lieutenant Quattro. So going into the third series, I'm like, all right, same thing as going from Gundam to Zeta Gundam. I'm like, all right, Zeta Gundam is the best thing I've ever watched, besides maybe Part 5 JoJo. I'm like, nothing that this is going to do is going to make me like it more than Zeta Gundam. And to an extent, I still kind of feel that way. I feel like I have a very, very strong fondness of Zeta Gundam. And this is such a strange phenomenon for me, because usually when I feel like that about a piece of media, something I played like 15 years ago or something, I'm like, memories. But Zeta Gundam just implanted itself in my brain. It is a part of my personality now. It is a core part of me as a human being. So I'm like, nothing the third series or Double Zeta is going to do is going to make me think differently. However, it is 100% on par with the quality of Zeta Gundam, and there's definitely going to be probably a large group of people that are going to enjoy this even more than Zeta Gundam. The animation is more refined, but not to an extent where it's like, oh, wow, this is so different now and so much better. But it's cleaner. Everything is animated just a little bit of a higher quality, I feel like, and everything's just a little more detailed, a little better, and it's just it oozes like quality. I think it's definitely like the pinnacle of an 80s anime. It just exudes that type of energy. And again, like I feel like Zeta Gundam, Double Zeta Gundam, it's timeless. No matter when you could watch this 30 years from now, and it's still going to be a good show then. It was probably great when it came out. I could only imagine what, say, specifically, like the audience it was made for. Like, say, like a Japanese teenager in the 80s. This is what I'm assuming they were kind of trying to go for. I feel like that was probably, you could probably tell by the time they got to Double Zeta that this was something that was going to change their culture. I feel like you could get a sense of how big and important it was becoming just by watching it, and how much love I feel like is put into it. So to start off, I really like how Double Zeta kind of starts off with stuff, and I don't like how Zeta ends. So that kind of bleeds into itself. So the fact that Amuro, while he seemed a little upsetty spaghetti, Camille didn't really come out unscathed, like, at all. So obviously Shirako bites the dust, and Camille is like reverted to a vegetative state, and he's like a little baby now. And it is like genuinely hard to watch and very depressing when you like when you can get invested in it and you really start caring about these characters and enjoying what they're putting out and stuff. It's impactful. It's a very hard hitting moment when this happens. It feels like, but again, I don't feel like it's unnecessarily bleak, but it's more like this is a casualty of war kind of thing, and like think about what that means for someone that, again, I think Camille was probably like supposed to be like 16, 17, something along those lines. Like he wasn't even like an adult yet, and now he's like brain dead essentially. So Double Zeta starts, and you got Judah and his friends, like a whole group of people, and this was very fun for me. And at first, I'm like, they're not Camille, so I don't care. But no, they all grew on me like super hard, and I really like the fact that at first, they're kind of poor, and they need money, and they're scrapping metal, and they want to scrap a Gundam for big money, and Judah just wants to put his sister in school, good wholesome stuff. And I like that once they get kind of wrapped up with like the Argama stuff, that two of his friends like Bicha and Mondo, and again, excuse my pronunciation, they kind of splinter off a bit because they just want to make money and survive, and you like can't even like blame them for that. and it causes like a splinter in the friend group. And I was like genuinely thinking that they were just going to be like bad guys towards the end of the series, or just like dip out after they like get like a payday. But I really like that aspect, and I feel like they went through a lot of character growth. And again, whoever was writing this stuff, and I really should look into this, but I wasn't trying to make this video take 10 hours to make. Whoever the team people writing this or whatever really knew what they were doing. They were really good at their craft. Really just really good at making entertaining characters to watch that have a lot of realistic, reasonable drama in between them. Like, there's not, like, obviously it's exaggerated. It's 80s anime and stuff like that. But there wasn't, like, too much of anything that a character would do where I would feel like, wow, that's so out of character. But, like, everything felt like, yeah, like, I could see why this happened. I could see why this is happening or whatever. So, all his friends, they're all very entertaining. You still got Captain Bright. Camille's a vegetable. That's not very fun. And is that offensive to say that? I'm not meaning to, like, offend anybody. If someone has a loved one like that, I swear to God that I am not meaning that to be snarky or trying to make fun of something serious. I am just talking about Gundam, and I'm being a silly little goober. I don't mean anything by that. So, yeah, the whole cast of characters is great. I really like Judah, and again, like, I didn't know what they were going to do with it. Because it's like, where do you go from Camille from this? Where, while Camille was serious, and he was angry, Judah is like playful and sarcastic. Maybe not sarcastic, but arrogant and a little cocky. And like I said, he's playful. He kind of messes with his enemies and stuff near the end a little bit. But he also, like, you got the aspect of him really caring about his friends and his sister and stuff like that. And so then I can't remember like what episode she came in, but like Rue Luca, if I'm pronouncing that right, oh boy, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. It's because it's like ROUX or something. She was an awesome character. I really liked her a lot. Just the whole cast was great. And Haman is one of the best villains. She is, because like some of the stuff she says, and like obviously she's evil and stuff, but like a couple things, like when she's talking about like the environment and Earth and stuff, like at that one like party they were doing, and it's like like you're not even wrong. You're just going about this in a bad way, but like you're not wrong in what you're thinking or whatever. Haman was a very fun to watch villain. She's very, again, like these characters, like whether or not they meant it to be like that, they just feel like larger than life, and they got such big personalities and stuff. And because to me, it's like Haman is like both somehow super evil, but she also like makes a lot of sense in what she's trying to do. And the whole with her trying to like rope Judah into, you know, like, because they're like, oh, we're both new types, we're both like psychics, we should be like working together kind of thing. I thought that was a lot of fun. Haman's, I want to call it a Gundam, but it's not a Gundam, it's her mobile suit. The Cubely is such a cool design. It, to me, it almost looks like an insect. And I guess I could have talked about that in the Zeta Gundam section, but yeah, it almost looks like an insect to me. And then, you know, then you have some characters like, okay, I can't remember his name, and I also don't know how to pronounce it, but the guy that looks like James from Team Rocket in the beginning of the series. I absolutely loved him. He was a lovable little goofball. I liked his little flower thing. Like, he was such a fun character. And then you have, this is what I was, like, not expecting. Again, full spoilers and stuff, and we've gotten this far, obviously. But Glemmy Toto, something like that. So, you know, and this really came out of left field for me, you know. He seems like he's just kind of, maybe not like a screw-up, but like naive and kind of innocent. That's a strong word for somebody in the Zeon Empire, but like he wasn't wise in the ways of the world, I guess. And then you kind of get this like rug pull of him cloning Ple and having like this army of cyber new types and just some really evil stuff. And the fact that he was like, no, I am going to take over the Zeon Empire and push Haman out of the picture forcefully. I was like, whoa. I'm like, I straight up wasn't expecting any of that. And the whole like army of Ple things, felt kind of dark to me, because as we seen in Zeta Gundam, and I actually kind of forgot about this, but with like 4 and like what happens with cyber new types, it's like it's not a good thing. It really like messes with their head and stuff. I know like that's the whole point. It's like it's a bad thing, and the fact that he has like a whole army of these clones that are cyber new types, and like I was like, okay, but then like at the end when they start showing that like that like the guy I was talking about at the beginning like drops a whole colony onto Earth and like probably unalives a lot of people on Earth. YouTube, this is an anime. I was like, wow, that's like uncharacteristically evil. And then I'm like, with the Glemmy stuff too, I'm like, this is like really evil. Like they didn't seem like they were like this. And then you kind of get that bit of exposition near the end where it's like Hamad was trying to like artificially enhance them, and it kind of no, I don't know about Glemmy. I don't know if that was just a twist. I don't think he was like artificially enhanced with the other guy and stuff. And it's like, and it kind of went too far, and they became a little too crazy from it and stuff like that. I was like I didn't see any of that coming. I thought that was like a really cool use of an earlier, more innocent character and stuff like that. And like I said, the army of Plez was kind of dark. Pled dying, fighting the Pled 2 clone was again like messed up and stuff. And then you had the whole scene where it seemed like Judah's sister Lena died, and I was like, whoa, I'm like, this is serious. I mean, like, it's very entertaining, but oh my god. I will say I did not like at first that Bicha was like piloting the Hyakushiki, but it was also super fitting for him. But I was like, no, that's my anime boyfriend Char's Gundam. You don't get to pilot that. No, that was like a suit. I felt like that was very fitting for him and stuff. And I liked his like turnaround along with Mondo and stuff. The episodes when they went to that like moon colony thing, and it was like more medieval and stuff. That was really, those were some really fun episodes. I was really enjoying seeing Gundam stuff happen in a more medieval setting. Those were very fun episodes to watch, and obviously that was big character growth for Mondo too at the end with the one moon person. I want to say it was Moon. I could be wrong. I'm just making a fool out of myself. And I know this is more scatterbrain, but I'm just kind of going through certain moments I'm remembering. And yeah, obviously, like, Judah fighting Hamon at the end, like, that was, like, really climactic and stuff. And I like the fact that Captain Bright kind of passed on captain duties to Bicha. I was like, that's a really cool moment and stuff. Like, I really enjoyed all of that. Ruluka is awesome, like I said. I like all of Judah's friends and all of that. So, obviously, Double Zeta, like, it's just as good as Zeta Gundam. I just have, like, a slight preference because there's a little more Char in Zeta Gundam, you know? In fact, that Char is like not even in. You just get that one little nugget of information at the end where Sayla is like asking Captain Bright about Char, and Captain Bright's like, I don't know. And then Sayla's like, I bet he's being evil. And I was like, no. So, anyways, and I'm sure you see where this is leading up to. So I watched Char's counterattack. Now, like, straight up, this was one of the most entertaining movies I've seen in a long time. And I have a real hard time sitting down and watching movies if I'm, like, even remotely not interested. I have to be, like, fully invested in what's going on. Or watching in the theater kind of, you know, tricks my brain into paying attention to movies and stuff. So usually I get kind of distracted. I might play on my phone for a little bit while I'm watching movies and just get all like antsy. It's like, again, I'm not saying this is like quirky or anything. Like I don't like it. My brain sucks. But I was so entranced and enthralled with Char's counterattack. So they brought back, again, full spoilers. They brought back my boy Amuro. He's like an adult now. They got Char, and I don't like his design as much, but it's super fitting. Don't get me wrong. But they took away the sunglasses, they took away the cool tracksuit, and now he's like wearing Xeon Empire clothing, and he cut his hair a little bit and slicked it back. He's got the eyes and thing going on. And I'm like, not for me, but that's just because I love the Zeta design so much. It's a good design. It's fitting for his character, and it's cool to see like an older Amuro, the new Gundam, and I mean like the NU Gundam, is super cool. I really like that design and how he almost has like some like psychic extremities like Haman and Ple and stuff on that thing. And so I have to talk about this because it has been in my head since I've seen the movie. So I'm sitting here, I'm watching the English dub of it. You can fight me about that all you want. And so there's this moment. If you watch the English dub, you probably know what I'm about to say because this felt so out of character. So there's a part where like Char is doing like political stuff and doing some meeting stuff, and he looks out a window and he's like, and I'm paraphrasing because I don't remember the exact quote, but he's like, Amuro, I'm doing something very wicked right now, or something along those lines. I'm like, I rewinded that scene like 3 times. I'm like, what on earth was that? Like, whose direction was this? Like, I am not crapping on it. I thought it was incredible. It was very silly, very goofy, and it really stuck out to me. I'm like, what is this? Like, what's going on? And then you got him riding on a horse, and like Amuro like punches him off or something, and they're fist fighting on the ground. And then you had what was her name, Quiznos or whatever guy. I know that's not her name. That's like a sub restaurant. You got Quiznos over there, and like defecting to Char's side, and like she ends up like killing her dad, and probably doesn't even know it, and. Didn't she die at the end? I want to say she died at the end along with that other kid. Oh, Captain Bright's kid. No. I think he was alive, but he killed her or something, or she died. And Char was being very wicked, obviously. And you had him and Amuro arguing about what to do, essentially, about the Earth. And that Char's whole thing is, well, he's like, you know what? These Earth people, they're not learning. They're not learning at all. And I'm essentially gonna send them in a nuclear winter, and it's like, okay, that's a very serious next step. Like in Zeta Gundam, you try to talk to them kind of peacefully, and now we're escalating to nuclear winter. So super cool stuff. I really like the tension of all that. The movie is incredibly entertaining. I honestly, I don't usually do this stuff, but like I'm probably gonna watch it again very soon. It was just there's so much going on, and it's very like super well paced, and if you have this knowledge of the first 3 series, like kind of don't need the double Zeta stuff, but I still think you should. But if you have all this knowledge and stuff, I think it's like a really fitting end to this kind of trilogy of series. I kind of feel like these fit together in like a trilogy, kind of like a nice, neat little package. And on that note, I do not like the ending. No, I do like it. I'm just being coy, but I don't like the fact that my boy Char Aznavour, my anime waifu, dies at the end along with Amuro. But like in all seriousness, as far as writing and stuff, I feel like it's like a very fitting send off, and like obviously kind of at the end. Either way, like I didn't know too much about this going into it. Just the fact that, because I didn't want to spoil anything, but like I wouldn't have been even surprised if they just let like Char win and Char sent the Earth into nuclear winter and all that. So I really didn't know which way it was going to go, but I feel like what they did was really good too, and having like Amuro kind of essentially stop them, and it was like really brutal when he like took him out of that escape pod. He's just like shoving him against the asteroid, and I think it was an asteroid or whatever, and they both kind of just die together. Like that was very brutal, a very fitting end to their characters, because like they're kind of, and I feel like the 3 series, well, more like the first 2, kind of were good at showing this, that they're kind of just like drawn to each other, whether or not they wanted to be. And so they kind of, came into the war stuff together. Now, Char was a little bit before. I have not seen the origin Char stuff yet. I'm going to get there later. And then they kind of went out together, and it was upsetting, but like an emotional good way. Like, hey, this is good writing. I really like it. And see, this is one thing that I feel like this earlier Gundam stuff was doing super well that I've seen so far. It's like nothing feels forced to me. Everything feels like very reasonable, very maybe besides the very wicked line. But yeah, like everything is very well written. I don't have to do like leaps in logic to think about why a character might be doing this or whatever. Like it's very well written. I really think it is like a very good piece of media, and I really think it would be like a good anime series and stuff to try to get someone who's not like super into anime into, because like I said, like I don't really watch anime too much. I just like read a lot of like romance manga and stuff, and the Gundam like blew me away. It literally became like a new facet of my life. It is insanely good. So now I have not gotten too far into it. So spoilers for like the first 3 or 4 episodes of not I almost said Unicorn Gundam, The Witch of Mercury, the new Gundam series. So I did a little digging, saw this one was like standalone, and just because me and my fiance, we tend to like watch TV a lot at night, and I'm picky when it comes to watching stuff or whatever. But like we're like, okay, I had her look into this a bit. It's like it's standalone. I'm not going to spoil myself in anything. So let's give this a try or whatever. Let's start watching this. And so obviously big culture shock when all of a sudden I'm watching like 2022 Gundam after watching like 1985 Gundam. And so that was a huge culture shock for me. But the show is super well animated. I like the characters and stuff so far. Like I said, we're only a couple episodes in. I like the Gundam design. That's super cool. And what I was worried about, because like I said, I didn't know like anything about newer Gundam. I'm like, I hope this like eventually didn't become like a little watered down or a little diluted or a little modernized in the sense where it gets kind of stale. But I feel like so far from what I've seen from Witch of Mercury, it's like this is just Gundam, but now with modern technology. Like this wouldn't feel too out of place if I was watching this and it looked like Zeta Gundam or something, and you told me it came out like in the 80s. So it still feels like Gundam, like obviously with some like newer tropes and stuff like that going on. But so far, it's a super enjoyable experience. I've watched the first couple episodes of that. I read like the first volume of a spin-off, with like this prisoner dude from like the world of Zero Gundam. So I've been like knee deep in this Gundam stuff now, and I've been because I wouldn't even have batted too much of an eye at the stuff like last year, and like now this year it is like I said, it's like besides like I think like JoJo as an anime and a manga, this is like my favorite thing ever right now. Now, there's 2 more pieces of anime I want to talk about real quick. Probably not nearly as in-depth because that was 3 series and a movie. And again, excuse the scatterbrain stuff. I'm just talking about kind of nerdy stuff I'm into right now. And this felt like a cool thing to do to wrap up the year. And like, because I wanted to make another video. I had different ideas. And, I feel like this is a really fun thing for me to do. And hopefully someone gets some enjoyment. I like when people do these end-of-the-year video kind of things because it gives me like a taste of, oh, this is what you were enjoying this year. And, hey, you might have something in there that I'm interested in watching and now or playing or reading or whatever. And, like, now I want to. So maybe you'll get to the Gundam part, stop the video, hopefully, and be like, oh, you know what? Maybe I should give Gundam a try, Anyways, so there's 2 main other anime I want to talk about. I feel like I have watched more anime this year than I ever have. So I watched, and again, excuse pronunciations, but I watched Bocchi the Rock because I kept seeing little funny memes online. And as you may know from my channel, I am indeed what they call a musician species, a musician class type. I write music, I play music. And so, like back in the day, like I loved K-On! That stuff was super fun for me. The music was all like super good and stuff. Yeah, K-On! Was a lot of fun as an anime, and I enjoyed the movie a lot. And I probably was watching that stuff when I was like maybe like I don't know, like 16 or something. So this kind of felt like a successor to something like that. But so. Like, I understand its origins as, like, a 4-panel gag manga, and I do like those, like the Yotsuba stuff, and not that that's 4-panel, but the other stuff that guy writes, or woman, I don't know who they are specifically, off the top of my head, but, like, I do like that kind of stuff, but, like, whatever studio is doing the anime is just insane. Like, they are super passionate about what they're doing. Like, usually, and I'm not trying to say like, oh, I like nothing makes me laugh or anything, but like usually I might get like maybe a small chuckle out of something like a comedy thing or whatever. It's usually some dumb, I can't even say that word, but like some dumb meme I see online that's like just not even funny to most people, but I'll see it and it's just like, oh, that really tickles like my very specific sense of humor. Whatever these Bocchi the Rock animes are doing it's like hitting that every single joke for me. Like, it's actually making me laugh, it's like there's been so many things. Again, I don't usually do this where I'm rewinding. I'm like, I gotta see that again. Like, obviously, you've probably seen this online all over the place if you've been following this stuff, but like the whole Bochi glitching out in the ground, I like how they do like cutaway gags that are completely different art style, and it's like not even animation anymore. That stuff is really humorous to me, and it's really like it's very extra, I guess, as some of the younger people are saying now, but it's very over the top. It feels like there's so much love being poured in this. The music's really good. All the music they've shown off during the show is really good. I've listened to the album that you can find on streaming services now. It's really good writing, good musicianship, all that kind of stuff. But everything about it is absolutely hilarious. Now, I can't really talk about too much the plot, because I don't really feel like that's what it's about. I'm very upset that there's not going to be any more for maybe ever, but just because of how entertaining it was. So I'm not gonna say too much about that, because again, it's not like a plot-based thing. This is something you should just go watch yourself and just experience and enjoy it or whatever. I can't think of a better way of saying this, but there's something that I can say that is going to do this justice. But if you even have a small inkling of a feeling I wanted to watch it, seriously, just go watch it. It was super entertaining, and I blew through it all way too fast. And so again, on that note, the last main anime thing I want to talk about is the new Bleach stuff that has been happening. So I was super into Bleach when I was younger. I was reading the manga when it first came out in America. I literally stayed up and watched the first broadcast, the first episode of the anime on a crappy CRT TV. I literally watched and read most of it. No, I watched the whole anime and I read the manga, but there's just both of it at the same time. I was consuming so much Bleach. It just exuded that dumb, fun, I want to draw cool stuff kind of energy, and I absolutely loved it. I loved the character designs. I loved the characters, the setting, all of it. I was super obsessed with Bleach. I probably liked it even more. Like when I was younger, I probably liked it more than Dragon Ball and Naruto and stuff like that. Now that I'm older, I think I like Dragon Ball more. Well, not think, I know I do. And I'm just talking about the stuff that was around when I was younger, as far as what was really getting pushed in Shonen Jump and stuff. Not that Dragon Ball was, but Dragon Ball was always prominent and stuff. But yeah, no, I was obsessed. I was absolutely obsessed with Bleach. And so obviously Shonen Jump stopped being physical in America, and that killed my thunder for a lot of stuff. It's kind of where when I dropped off of One Piece permanently. Now I went out and I saw that One Piece movie Red just for the fun of it. I got caught up to speed a little bit. And it was fun. It was very entertaining and stuff. I really liked the movie, but I've never really got back into One Piece or anything. There's a lot of things I just kind of dropped at that point. That's also kind of when my taste was starting to gear towards like I said, the romance stuff anyways. But yeah, no, Bleach was my jam. I ended up watching the rest of it just through the anime and stuff, because I said, Shonen Jump wasn't physical. So when the anime stopped, I was reading online for a little bit, but at that point I was just kind of burned out, and I didn't really I wasn't in the mood for it. And I also, when the anime finished, I kind of stopped reading things online. I just didn't really enjoy them anymore. I just wanted, physical books and stuff. And I just, not because I didn't love Bleach, but I just, never got around to finishing the manga. And I feel like there's probably quite a lot of people that were like that, too. And again, not that it wasn't good or entertaining, the last arc the anime did was, super good. So obviously, it kind of just fell off of that. I never stopped thinking about Bleach. Me and my dude, we still get together sometimes and we throw on the good old Bleach Shattered Blade on the Wii. Now, if you've seen some other stuff on my channel, I'm really into competitive fighting games and actually taking this stuff seriously. That is not a fighting game. That is just a waggle fest. But it is so fun to just act like dumb kids again and just play some Bleach Shattered Blade, So, obviously, anime gets announced. I'm all over it. The animation looks incredible. It is so good. I see people keep talking about that studio, and for good reason. That animation is on a whole other level. So I've been watching the Bleach stuff. I'm not going to spoil you too much besides the episodes that are out right now, because I don't know any of the manga stuff after that. So I've been trying to avoid subreddits and stuff like that. I don't want to know anything besides the anime stuff. So if you haven't seen the anime, the 1,000-Year Blood War stuff, don't do not keep listening to this. Do not keep watching this. I don't even care if you don't finish this video. Just go start watching Bleach, the 1,000-Year Blood War specifically. So yeah, like I felt like a kid again. You know, like booting up that first episode. It's like I'm watching Bleach again. It's like I feel like I'm 14. It was such a breath of fresh air, honestly, because I kind of, like I said, I don't really consume that kind of stuff anymore, and I just instantly felt like, oh, you know what, there's still some action stuff that I still like, you know, and like I said, I just felt like a kid again. I was like, this is amazing, and like with the way they're presenting it, and I've read a little bit online, like some people are saying like this is slightly different. They're making some changes, like with Tite Kubo, or however you pronounce his name. With his like input and stuff like that, so it's not like they're trying to go against his vision. If anything, they're trying to like amplify his vision. So everything that they've been doing is like, now, I don't remember if Bleach has always been this dark, but it is very dark. It is very graphically violent sometimes, surprisingly. Like again, I can't remember if Bleach was always like this because it has been a long time for me, you know. So some of the stuff I was like legitimately shocked at what they were doing, and like it's a very moody kind of dark atmosphere with everything, with the whole Soul Society getting invaded by the Quincy people and stuff, and just like they've killed off like a couple characters already that I kind of didn't see coming. You got Ichigo shattering his sword and stuff like that, and he can't use it, and then he gets sent back to the human world and stuff. And what I really, everything has been super entertaining so far. But what I really want to talk about is those last 2 episodes. First of all, the whole stuff with like Ichigo's dad and mom, that was like so fun for me because it's like this just feels like romance anime, and I'm all for that. It was so up my alley, and it seemed like a lot of other people online really enjoyed that stuff too. But I was like, wow, this is exactly what I'm asking for. That was super fun, and it's cool to see like these details and why like Ichigo's dad lost his Soul Reaper power stuff and all that stuff. Really, really cool stuff. But then, you know, so Ichigo, you know, he gets his head back on straight, and he gets his new Zanbato, and it's like 2 of them, and it's like 1 for Zangetsu, 1 for like Hollow Ichigo. I'm like, oh my god, this is so hype! This is so hype! It's working on me. I'm falling into action shonen anime hype, and like this stuff I thought didn't work on me, but it was really working on me. And the whole thing, and this is funny because it's just how long it's been for me since I was like watching Bleach and stuff, and like how, especially when I like kind of burn through things, like I don't remember all the finer details and stuff. But the fact that the whole time that I did not notice that like Quincy boss guy, I'm calling him a boss, but you know what I mean, villain guy, was literally just Zangetsu, but like older, and I was like, I didn't realize, straight up, I didn't realize at all. Like I kind of forgot about Zangetsu as like a spirit thing. I didn't realize that was literally just him, and then and you know, they're talking about, okay, like, well, that's him, but like younger in like spirit form, and like, oh, you're a Quincy and a Soul Reaper, kind of. And I swore that they already kind of alluded to that in the last arc, but I also don't remember the last arc that well to begin with. Because, again, I thought he couldn't use his Zanbato, and he's doing, like, Quincy stuff. But maybe my brain is just fuzzy, and I'm not remembering it right. But, so now they're, like, just straight out saying it. And, like, my mind was so blown and, like, obviously this is a retroactive change. They designed that villain to look like Zangetsu, but it is such a cool one. It is just pure hype. I don't care if it's a pulling it out of nowhere scenario. It was so cool, and especially since my brain wasn't functioning, and I literally just wasn't thinking about Zangetsu as a spirit. I didn't put 2 and 2 together until I watched that episode, and I'm just like, I'm just sitting there and I'm watching it, and I think like my fiance was calling me for something. I'm like, no. There is hype plot twist happening right now. I will come to you in a moment. I'm like, this is too cool right now. I will not pause this. I was just so mind blown by everything that was going on. And Ichigo was like, no, I don't care. You're still Zangetsu. You're both Zangetsu. But yeah, that absolutely blew my mind. And then the fact, and I can't believe we have to wait so long. Obviously, people need downtime. Studios work on other projects. They need vacation time. They need sick days. All this stuff. I'm not saying like, oh my god, they need to keep animated right now. Like, obviously, the studio has an insane level of quality that they're really sticking with. They can take as much time as they need to. But obviously, I'm super excited to watch the continuation of it in July. And I didn't know that it was stopping until I was like, oh, okay, I got like another week before we can watch the next episode. And then I was like reading through like a discussion thread for the episode. I'm like, and I saw people saying, see you guys in like July or whatever. I'm like, what? And that's when I found that out. However, that very last thing they did when they had Ishida like show up to that Quincy boss guy's like palace thing area and like seems like he's gonna work with him now, I was like, you cannot do that to me. Like, are they gonna like fight each other or something? Like him and Ichigo? Like, that would be absolutely insane. Like, I don't know what's gonna happen. And I'm not like, obviously I haven't read the manga or anything, so if anybody else out there is just watching the anime too, you're in the same boat I am right now, you know? We're like, you're just gonna wait, but we don't know what's going on yet. And I feel like a kid again, you know? Between this and the Gundam stuff, it's like I'm just like hyped about watching some nerdy anime stuff. And it's really cool. I like legitimately, I felt like I thought I'd fallen out with this type of media, and then I just wanted to read like romance manga. But this stuff has been like very entertaining. And again, like I've already alluded to this a couple times, but like I'm very big into JoJo's Bizarre Adventure now. I've read like a lot of the manga. I've caught up with the anime. But I kind of feel like that's an exception. Like, JoJo to me does not feel like a stereotypical action anime or manga. It definitely subverts pretty much every single expectation, honestly. And I'm not trying to overblow it, but it does not feel like an action anime. But like, obviously Bleach and stuff, and you know, that does feel like an action anime, but it's like, it's a really good one, and it's maybe it's because it's something I was already like into as a kid or whatever. But I also just feel like the writing and the animation is super strong, and to leave us on this kind of plot twist, like two at once, mind you, like two at once. It's amazing, and I really want to see what happens next. And that's when you know things are worth watching and worth waiting for, when you're actually excited and interested to see what's going to happen. So I've been watching anime. Like I said, I haven't usually been like this. I kind of just resorted to just reading manga. So this has been a very interesting turn of events for me. And I don't think this is going to spill out into too much more anime watching. I still just kind of want to read my romance books, but you know, good stuff. So the whole point I was making this video for is that I just got in the mail today. I was reading through it. I got this manga, you know, and it's in color, and I'm colorblind. That's a joke. That's it. No. So it's for Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. You know, true degeneracy and degenerate stuff right here. But so I thought this was a really interesting idea. And I was kind of like, again, like my attention span is so bad, and usually like I'll pick up a book, I'll read like a little bit of it, even manga, like seriously, and then I'll start another one, and I'll put a bookmark in the last one, and then I'll slowly read like 4 books at once. It takes me a while or whatever. But like, I got this in the mail today, and I just read through the whole thing, and I was just like thoroughly, once again, enthralled and entertained. But no, this is such a cool idea. So I don't. If anybody else is into this stuff, definitely check out this book. This is the whole point I was making this video. So I hope, I hope nobody was expecting this in the beginning. I was going to do it in the beginning, but I'm like, I gotta talk about anime a little bit too. And it feels so weird for me to be saying that because I don't like anime. I don't like anime. So it's this Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid in color chromatic edition thing, and so what it is, and it's such a cool concept because I still need to read the last 2 volumes, but this was like a really cool refresh. What they did is they took a couple chapters from different volumes, and it's a bigger book, and I'm gonna put some pictures, like I said, in the video, so you can kind of see what I mean. Because I thought it was just gonna be the same size, but it is bigger. The pages are super hefty and kind of like thick and stuff. The cover is like the part that says Dragon Maid kind of sticks out and stuff. You can kind of like feel it. And so the biggest thing, it's previous chapters and stuff. And I'd understand if some people think this is like dumb, like why would I just want to like reread chapters I've already read and stuff like that. But it's like all of it's colored. like every single page of it's colored, and this is really cool. So I've always and I think everybody does, but the colored pages in manga and stuff always feel like really special when you get that, and especially when you read the kind of stuff I do. So pure degeneracy stuff, don't get me wrong, but I was probably soloing in America funding the Monster Girl craze for manga just by myself with how much Monster Girl manga I was buying. But legitimately, I know what you're thinking. I know, and just save it. Just save it. This is a clean space. No, but seriously, to me, this was such a cool thing for me because I feel like all of a sudden we were getting romance manga and drama manga, but catered towards a shonen audience, and maybe not quite that, but all of a sudden people that might have just been drawing stuff that was shonen or action and stuff like that were all of a sudden drawing romance manga. And like I've already said, I legitimately I read a lot of romance manga, just normal stuff, And so this was such a cool craze for me because all of a sudden everybody's just drawing drama and stuff like that. I'm this is so up my alley, and I was really, really enjoying this craze, and it's sad to see that it's kind of died out now. I tried to fund it. I really did. No, but I read, obviously, Monster Musume was the biggest one. I really enjoyed that. Monster Infirmary, and then you had Kobayashi's Dragon Maid, and I'm sure there's some other stuff in there. I was buying all the spin-offs and stuff. I was buying the animes. I was, like I said, I was funding this. I got paper crafts for the Monster Girls. For Monster Musume, I have a little paper Mia, little paper craft, legitimate though. This stuff is very cool to me. It's all again, just romance and drama for for a different audience and stuff like that. So I really enjoy this stuff, and Kobayashi Dragon Maid was always very fun to me too. So. And like I said, I have the last 2 volumes that I haven't gotten around to reading yet because I'm reading 8 different things at once. I'm reading 2 books at once, which I really need, normal books, and I really need to stop doing that. One of them, I haven't watched the anime of it or anything because I just wanted to read the book, but I've been reading that Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai. Because I like light novels and stuff too. And kind of what I was seeing online, it is not what I was expecting, and it is very, very good. With light novel stuff, you can tend to find some kind of out there things. There was one I read, and I wish I could remember the name of it. And I don't remember. I don't think they even got to the 2nd volume yet. But it was about some romance stuff happening, but in a post-apocalyptic setting. It was really cool. It was really enjoying that one. I'm getting off track here though. So yeah, I'm okay, this would be a good refresher, and then I could read the last 2 volumes, and. It's just to me, especially for stuff that I really enjoy. I like collecting little things, little trinkets for that series or whatever. And I know I'm not the only one. So I'm regardless, even if this is just kind of a dumb one-off thing, and I don't really want to read through some previous chapters again, which I kind of already did. But I'm this is just a cool collector's item. I could flip through the art and stuff like that. But I was planning on just reading it anyways. I just didn't think I was going to get to it so soon. But no, it was really cool to see all these things I was reading in bigger pages, better quality pages, and in full color and stuff. And it got me kind of thinking. I'm and again, this is definitely a cost thing, and I'd understand why you could not do a full manga like this. But there doesn't seem to be too much of this kind of stuff online. Now, again, I didn't want to make this video take 10 hours, and it already kind of is. But I didn't do any huge research on this or anything. But it looks like you can at least get some manga in colored. I saw at least you get the Frieza saga from Dragon Ball in full color. That's really cool. That's really cool stuff. But specifically, I really like this idea, and I kind of hope other publishers and other series will get stuff like this. It's because it's a cool kind of flip through of stuff you've already read before. Some of the stuff quite older at this point, and to see all these scenes and stuff in what feels like a meatier, heftier book in full color was so cool. I'd love to see this for other random stuff. Come on, please give me Monster Musume in full color. Pick some random chapters of that. I'd buy 10 copies straight up. I'll buy 10 copies. I don't care. But I feel like this kind of stuff could be cool even for like I said, the Dragon Ball stuff, but for the action stuff. Seriously, I would pick up and read stuff if it was like, oh, here's some cool chapters from Bleach that are in color now, just from like cool fights or something like that, or even like Naruto or whatever. Or especially, I really like the odd colored schemes in some of the JoJo stuff. Like, I don't know if that would be a good fit, but you get what I'm saying. Especially for like the drama stuff, like I feel like you don't usually get this level of attention and care and extra products in the romance stuff. So again, this is why like the whole Monster Girl craze was like really, really cool to me. And not that this would ever happen, but again, I think this specific idea was so cool to me, and it's just nerdy stuff that I feel like not that many people are going to be into, but it's something that like I kind of unexpectedly really liked, and that's why I got up. I'm like, I'm going to record a video this year. I'll talk a little bit about anime, but I want to talk about this book so bad. It's because it's not like some sort of groundbreaking new stuff or like new chapters or whatever, but it's just very comfy and a cozy read, and it's a really cool like art piece to see all this stuff in the drawing form. And I know, it's just like a Monster Girl manga or whatever, but again, it's really cozy and really cool, and I'd like to see this. And again, this wouldn't happen, but like stuff like normal romance or drama manga, and pick like a couple like important chapters and colorize them, and you can kind of see things in a different light that way. And I feel like before I kind of slowed down and started taking a little more time to smell the roses, so to speak, I probably wouldn't have cared too much for something like this. But I don't know, it's just such a cool concept. It feels like something like this, I feel like would have a lot of marketability for other series, and I feel like this is kind of like a cool collector's item you can do for like a bunch of different things. And I kind of hope this idea takes off, because I really enjoyed it. And like I said, I would be a dumb little guinea pig buying this kind of guinea pig's not the right word, but I'd be that dumb guy buying all these, because it is really like entertaining, and I really hope people take notice of this. I hope people like this kind of thing. And like I said, I don't specifically think everybody's going to be buying the Dragon Maiden color thing, but it is a really fun and really cool idea. Like I said, I'm putting some pictures in here. It's really cool to see all this art in a really like high quality and stuff like that. And this has the potential to be a really cool collector's piece for a lot of different series. And like, I'm rambling at this point, but I just I was just nerding out, and I was just really enjoying it. Like I want to share this passion with my YouTube channel, and because I want to. And this is a good segue into this. Like I want to talk about more than just spooky stuff and like urban legends and an occasional stream of game or whatever. Like, I am definitely going to make it a little more of a point from now on to just kind of nerd out about stuff and share stuff I'm passionate about with my YouTube stuff. Because to me, I absolutely love watching people's videos like this, where they're just like, they get so enthralled in a random piece of media, and it's like, it's almost even more entertaining when it's some like obscure thing that either you don't even know, or hey, here's this Sega Saturn game you played a decade ago, and then somebody else is talking about it, and they're like freaking out about it, and they're like, this is so cool. It's so dumb, but it's so cool. I really want to exude that level of energy myself, and I think I'm going to make it a point. Well, something I really want to do. If I can hunt down the rest of the volumes, like the last 3 of that Gundam 00 spinoff thing with like the prisoner dude, like I'm gonna be talking about that. I'll take some pictures, not too many. I don't want to get taken down, and just kind of nerd out about what I think makes this piece of media so like unique and cool to me. And I feel like that kind of pick up on somebody's excitement about something, and either if it's something new or something you already experienced, it just makes you excited yourself, and like you want to go check out this piece of media. And like I said, like I think going forward, I want to do more. I want to do more of that, and just kind of like just tell the world about the dumb nerdy stuff that I'm into. And what I really hope to do this coming year, I'm going to try to get some sort of setup so I can like capture real consoles and stuff, and then I can make videos and talk about, like I said, some random Sega Saturn game that like was like only in Japan, or talk about the TurboGrafx port of Gradius or something. Just like stuff that very uniquely speaks to me. And then when you find like the couple other people that are really into that themselves, they're gonna feel that, and then you're gonna have a whole host of people that may not have been interested in this before, or maybe not have even known about it, and they're going to be like, oh, you know what, I want to go check this out now too. And then you're all kind of sharing a moment, and you're sharing this piece of media together and stuff, and it's really cool, it's really fun, and that's kind of where I'm going to end things. This has been a fun. I didn't talk about any games or anything like that. I wanted this to be purely about like anime and books, and I just wanted to talk about that and kind of what I've been going through this year, in what I've been trying to like enjoy in the more artful forms, like colored dragons. So on that note, I'm going to be uploading this on New Year, so like Happy New Year and all that stuff. And I hope the next one is super good, and I hope to do more things with this channel of mine. It's been very fun. I've kind of feel like I've increased in quality more than I thought I was going to, and it has been a lot more entertaining than I thought I was going to be too. I didn't think I was going to get like as into it. I thought this was always going to be, I was going to like upload a couple songs here and there, but it has been a very rewarding experience. Like, I'm not getting big numbers or anything, but like when I see I get like 40 views on like a long video I made, it's like that's 40 people that were watching something I put a lot of heart into and a lot of time and research into it. That's really cool. That's really cool for me. I'm just some random dude sitting in my house talking about nerdy stuff. Or mysteries and spooky stuff and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, you know what? I know my humor is cringe, but that's part of the fun. Happy New Year. Have a good one, humans. This has been me, Human, and I'm out.